Good morning. It's Crazy Sock Day, and we're reading in our Crazy Socks today. Our book today is Amelia, Bedelia, written by Peggy Parish and pictures by Fritz Siebel, and it's published by Harper Collins. This is my granddaughter Casey's favorite book. So let's get started reading with our Crazy Socks on today. Okay, here we go. Oh, Amelia, Bedelia, your first day of work, and I can't be here. But I made a list for you. You do just what's on this list, said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers got into the car with Mr. Rogers. They drove away. My, what a nice folks. I'm going to like working here, said Amelia, Bedelia. Look at that nice house, huh? Let's see. Amelia, Bedelia went inside. Such a grand house. These must be rich folks, but I must get to work. Here I stand just looking, and me with a whole list of things to do. Amelia, Bedelia stood there for a minute longer. I think I'll make a surprise for them. I'll make a lemon meringue pie. I do make good pies. Oh, lemon meringue is one of my favorite pies. Ooh, I just love them. So Amelia, Bedelia went into the kitchen. She put a little of this and a little of that and a pinch of this into a bowl. She mixed and she rolled. Soon her pie was ready to go into the oven. There, said Amelia, Bedelia. That's done. She looks like she's going to put that pretty pie into the oven. Now, let's see what's on this list. Amelia, Bedelia, change the towels in the green bathroom. Amelia, Bedelia found the green bathroom. Those towels are very nice. Why change them, she thought. Then Amelia, Bedelia remembered what Mrs. Rogers said. You must do what the list told her. Well, all right, said Amelia, Bedelia. Amelia, Bedelia got some scissors. She snipped a little here and a little there, and she changed those towels. Is that what Mrs. Rogers meant? I wonder. There, said Amelia, Bedelia. She looked at her list again. Dust the furniture. Then, did you ever hear tell of such a silly thing? At my house, we undust the furniture. But to each their own. Amelia, Bedelia took one last look at the bathroom. Oh, she saw a big box with the words dusting powder on it. Well, look at that. A special powder to dust with, exclaimed Amelia, Bedelia. So Amelia, Bedelia dusted the furniture. That should be dusty enough. My, how nice it smells. Draw the drapes when the sun comes in, read Amelia, Bedelia. She looked up. The sun was coming in. Amelia, Bedelia looked at the list again. Draw the drapes? That's what it says. I'm not much of a hand at drawing, but I'll try. So Amelia, Bedelia sat down and she drew those drapes. Amelia, Bedelia marked off about the drapes. Now that, put the lights out when you finish in the living room. So Amelia, Bedelia thought about that for a minute. She switched off the lights, then she carefully unscrewed each bulb, and Amelia, Bedelia put the lights out. So those things need to be aired out too? Just like pillows and babies? Oh, I do have a lot to learn. my pie!" exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. She hurried to the kitchen. "Just right," she said. She took the pie out of the oven and put it on the table to cool. Then she looked at the list. "Measure 2 cups of rice." "That's next," said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia found 2 cups. She filled them with rice, and Amelia Bedelia measured that rice. Amelia Bedelia laughed. "These folks do want me to do some funny things." Then she poured the rice back into the container. "The meat market will deliver a steak and a chicken. Please trim the fat before you put the steak in the icebox. And please dress the chicken." Oh, I could just imagine what she is going to do. Let's see. When the meat arrived, Amelia Bedelia opened the bag. She looked at the steak for a long time. "Yes," she said, "that will do nicely." Amelia Bedelia got some lace and bits of ribbon, and Amelia Bedelia trimmed the fat before she put the steak in the icebox. "Now I must dress the chicken. I wonder if she wants it a she chicken or a he chicken," said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went right to work. Soon the chicken was finished. Is that how you dress a chicken? Amelia Bedelia heard the door open. "The folks are back," she said. She rushed out to meet them. "Amelia Bedelia, why are the light bulbs outside?" said Mr. Rogers. "The list just said to put the lights out," said Amelia. "It didn't say to bring them back in." "Oh, I do hope they didn't get aired too long." "Amelia Bedelia, the sun will fade the furniture. I asked you to draw the drapes," said Mrs. Rogers. I did, see?" said Amelia Bedelia. She held up her picture. They seem a bit confused by what she did while they were gone. Then Mrs. Rogers saw the furniture. "The furniture!" she cried. "Did I dust it well enough?" asked Amelia Bedelia. "That's such nice dusting powder." Mr. Rogers went to wash his hands. "I say," he called, "these are very unusual towels." Mrs. Rogers dashed into the bathroom. "Oh, my best towels," she said. "Didn't I change them enough?" said Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers went into the kitchen. "I'll cook the dinner. Where is the rice I asked you to measure?" "I put it back in the container." "But I remember it measured 4.5 inches, said Amelia Bedelia. "Was the meat delivered?" asked Mrs. Rogers. "Yes," said Amelia Bedelia. "I trimmed the fat, just like you said. It does look nice." Mrs. Rogers rushed to the icebox. She opened it. "Lace and ribbons!" "Oh dear," said Mrs. Rogers. Oh, goodness. That's so hilarious. Look at this. "The chicken! You dressed the chicken?" asked Mrs. Rogers. "Yes, and I found the nice box to put him in," said Amelia Bedelia. "Box!" exclaimed Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers hurried over to the box. She lifted up the lid. There lay the chicken, and he was just as dressed as nice as could be. Mrs. Rogers was angry. She was very angry. She opened her mouth. Mrs. Rogers meant to tell Amelia Bedelia she was fired. But before she could get the words out, Mr. Rogers put something in her mouth. What was it? I bet it was that yummy pie. Let's see. It was so good, Mrs. Rogers forgot about being angry. "Lemon meringue pie!" she exclaimed. "I made it to surprise you," said Amelia Bedelia happily. So right then and there, Mr. and Mrs. Rogers decided that Amelia Bedelia must stay. And so she did. Mrs. Rogers learned to say undust the furniture, unlight the lights, close the drapes, and things like that. Mr. Rogers didn't care if Amelia Bedelia trimmed all of his steaks with lace. All he cared about was having her there to make lemon meringue pie. What a fun book! And have a fun, crazy sock day. Bye-bye.